Okay, so you want to know if you can be hypnotised, and more importantly, if you can be hypnotised online. Well, the simple answer is yes. Hi, I'm Graham from Results Driven Hypnosis, and some of the simple facts about hypnosis are that everybody slips in and out of hypnotic trances many times a day. Of course, we don't call it hypnotic trance. The names we give it are things like daydreaming, off with the pixies, staring off into space. But the fact of the matter is, it's just something that everybody does on a regular basis. If you think of your mind like a computer, sometimes when computers just try to do too much at once, they go into reset mode. You know what that's like, that little blue circle of death going round and round on a blank screen. Well, our mind does the same thing. When we start approaching overload, for whatever reason, we go into reset mode. And we just shut down, relax, almost like going into a micro mini sleep without closing our eyes and drifting off into a dream state. In fact, daydreaming. Perfectly natural, everybody does it. So you can see there's no magic, nothing supernatural, nothing religious about hypnosis, going into a hypnotic trance. It's a perfectly natural state of consciousness. And of course there's different levels of trance. The most basic level, things like, the easiest way to explain it, driving a car. We get behind the wheel of a car, we're not sitting there thinking what we're doing with our feet or our hands. We're actually thinking about running late for work, missing an appointment, the presentation we're about to give, the shopping we have to do on the way home. And our subconscious mind is doing all the driving for us, keeping us safe. If the brake lights come on in front of us, we stop. If a car pulls in, we let it go, we brake, we slow down. We avoid obstacles. We're perfectly safe, we're just not concentrating wholly on that task. That's a trance. The conscious mind's doing one thing, the subconscious mind's doing something else at the same time. Everybody does that. Admittedly, that's the most basic level of trance you can go into. But things on that same level, when you read a book. How many times do you sit down to read a book? You get to the bottom of the page and think, I don't remember what I just read. You have to go back and read it again. I know you're nodding your head. Watching TV, again, you can be sitting down watching a movie for an hour. Somebody can walk in and say, oh, that looks interesting, what's the movie about? No idea. I don't know. Because you've been in a trance, you're not paying attention to the movie, it's just a means to have you reset your mind, drift off into a daydream. And again, a perfectly natural state of consciousness that happens to everybody. Now, as we said, that is the basic level of trance, but the interesting thing is, even at this most basic level of trance, we're still 200 times more likely to accept hypnotic suggestions if they're presented to us in the right way. So all you really need to be able to go into a hypnotic trance is to go into the same feeling you get when you're driving a car, watching TV or reading a book. It's as simple as that. Of course there are deeper levels. The next level down is, again, if we stick with driving a car, it's when you've been driving for a while and you get to a point and you think, gee, I don't remember the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't actually remember how I got to this point. And again, It's happened to everybody. Perfectly natural. No need to consciously work on doing that. So that's how simple a trance is. The other thing that you probably wanted to know is, how does that work online? Well, again, quite simply, the facts of the matter are that firstly, once we start going into a nice, comfortable, relaxed state, like a daydream state, generally we close our eyes. From that point on, it doesn't matter if you're at home or if you're in a clinic. The process is exactly the same, so there's no difference there. Where it does become probably easier and better to go through the hypnotic process online is that change doesn't happen in the clinic. All change happens in your mind. So it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where your therapist is. The change isn't happening where the therapist is. It's happening where you are. So wherever you are is where the change is going to happen. Another interesting thing to think about is that if you're coming in to make a big change in your life and you're walking into a clinic somewhere that you've probably never been before, somewhere where you would probably never perform these actions that you want to change, these behaviours that you want to change anyway. So going into an unfamiliar place like that, you would have to pretend that you were somewhere else performing those actions that you want to change. You don't need to do that in your own home, because you're already there. You're already in a place where you feel at home, you feel comfortable, you're relaxed. You don't have to pretend that you're in your home because you're already there. So of course, that's going to be a lot easier for you as well. So again, the answer is hypnosis online works as well, if not better, than hypnosis in a practice or in a clinic. So they're the simple basic facts. Of course, there are a lot more complicated facts that go along with hypnosis. But the simple fact is that nobody can make you do something you don't want to do, something that goes against your moral values or your standards. And in fact, in that respect, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, because you can choose not to allow yourself to go into a relaxed enough state to accept hypnotic suggestions that are presented to you. And that's perfectly fine, because nobody can make you do that. Only you can do that. Only you can allow yourself to relax enough to allow change to happen. So it all boils down to the choice being yours, if you want to change or if you don't want to change. Change work won't happen if you're doing it for somebody else. If you really don't want to make this change in your life, but your wife or husband is nagging you, your kids are nagging you, and you're just doing it to shut them up, and even though you don't want to change, somehow I can make you change. Well, no, I can't. Nobody can. But if you have a genuine desire to change, then together we can make it happen by simply following a simple process. And that's all hypnosis is, following a simple set of processes, some simple instructions to allow the change to work for you, to happen for you. So in a moment, I guess, we'll see if hypnosis will work for you by doing a simple test. And the simple test will include following some simple instructions, exactly the same way as going into a trance through the sessions. We'll be starting off by following some simple instructions. This doesn't mean you'll go into a trance through this test. It just means it's a test to see if you will allow yourself to relax enough to allow the process to work. So if this isn't for you, if you decide that you're not going to follow any instructions, you can turn the video off now. We've followed the simple facts. You've got the facts now, so you understand what hypnosis is and hopefully what it's not. But if you do want to continue and find out if hypnosis is the right thing for you, then in a moment I'll ask you to stand up and we'll just start to follow some simple instructions. You may need to adjust your screen, so I'll give you a couple of moments to do that. So standing up now, adjusting your screen. And just standing comfortably. When you feel comfortably relaxed and standing, simply bring your hands together, interlock your fingers. Bring out your 2 index fingers and just hold them apart. Simply like that. And then close your eyes. Gently and easily close your eyes. They don't have to be tight. Just comfortably and easily closed and relaxed. And imagine that I'm putting a metal band around your fingers and tightening that band up. Just bringing your fingers together, pulling them together gently and easily. You may not even feel the band on your fingers, but you can feel it tightening and pulling your fingers together. And it really is as simple as that. Just feel that band pulling your fingers together. And as soon as you begin to feel your fingers move, or even as soon as you feel your fingers touching, you can simply open your eyes and sit back down. And there's no rush, it's very easy. Just visualize or imagine or pretend that band around your fingers tightening up, pulling those fingers together. And as soon as you feel them move, or as soon as you feel them touch, you can open your eyes and sit down. And it really is as simple as that. So are you sitting back down yet? If you felt anything at all, even if you resisted so much, but you knew that you had to resist, otherwise you would touch, that's perfectly fine too. The best part about going into a trance is, as I said, nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. You're always in perfect control. You can choose whether you're going to let your fingers touch or whether you're going to close your eyes or whatever you're going to do. You are always in control, always in control. So at the end of the day, there's nothing to lose but the habit that you want to change. So if this worked for you and you're happy to go ahead, we'll send out a series of emails to get you ready, and then we'll present the 3 sessions, 1 a week for 3 weeks. And we'll make this change happen for you. So I'll see you on the other side.